Welcome to SolidCAM Professor. I'm Sydney, your SolidCAM Professor, with one of many videos available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In this recording, we'll demonstrate the use of probe on multi-positions on this machine part. Now, I'm going to be using the probe to check the straightness of this surface over here, as well as the height of this surface, the diameter of this boss as well as the diameter of this boss, plus the diameter of this hole over here, as well as the diameter of this hole over here. So this will be done actually in multi-positions. If we start with our first operation in probe, we've used the option of angle Y. And if we take a look at our geometry, you'll see that we'll be working along this line over here. We'll be checking along this line. We have our probe tool, and in our Tech 1 area, we have the levels that we'll be working on, level 0, as this is level 0. Also note that we'll be working in Mach 1, position 1. If we take a look at our simulation, you'll see on the machine itself that the probe will go down, check on these 2 points over here to check for the straightness of that surface. Next, I'd like to check the width of this cylinder over here. So for that, I've used the probe operation of boss. The geometry in this case will be this area around here as shown over here, and we have our probe tool. And if I go into Tech 1, you'll note that I'll be checking it only in the Y direction as opposed to X or X and Y. The level again will be 0, as that is the level where that cylinder is at its widest. Taking a look again at our simulation, you'll see that our probe tool goes down, measures one side, and just like in a boss operation, going up over the top and going back down, checking the other side. Next, I'd like to check the distance between these two surfaces over here. So for that, I've used the option of probe pocket. My geometry is the same as I had in the previous operation around over here. But this time, when I go into my Tech 1, you'll note that I'll be checking only in the X direction, going from this surface to this surface over here. Again, taking a quick look at my simulation, you'll see that the tool will go down and check this surface over there, as well as this surface, to check the distance between those two surfaces. Next, I'd like to check the height of this cylinder over here. So I've used the probe operation of single point Z, where my geometry is this point at the very top of the cylinder. If I were to go into my Tech 1, you'll see that I have my Z level set at the very top on this point over here. Taking again a quick look at the simulation, you'll see that the tool will go down and touch the top of that cylinder to measure the height of that cylinder itself. Now I'd like to check the diameter of the cylinder on this end, as well as the diameter of the cylinder on this end over here. For that, we'll be using different positions in Mach 1. If we take a look at the first operation that I've used over here in the Mach 1 position 2, you'll see we have our geometry as this circle over there. We have our probe, and in our Tech 1, you'll see that we'll be going down to the level as shown in the preview over here, and touching off on 4 different points. Taking a quick look at the simulation, you can see that the table has now turned, and it is now touching off on all 4 sides, going above the cylinder itself every single time, touching on all four sides of the cylinder. Now the same was done for the cylinder on this side, except using Mach 1 position 3, the exact same operation that was done in the previous one. Now, next we'd like to check the diameter of this hole over here, as well as this one over here. So if we were to go into the operation, we'll be using a different Mach position as shown over here that will grab this hole over here. If we take a look at the geometry, you can see that we have this circle over here as our geometry. We were using another probe with a smaller diameter for that particular area. And if I go into Tech 1, you'll see that we'll be touching off inside that hole as shown over there on 4 different points. Taking a look at our simulation, you'll see the part sitting on a table being measured out first in this position over here, the angle on that side. Then after that, being checked for the width of the cylinder as shown over here. After that, checking the top distance between these two areas over here and the top of the cylinder. Now the part was turned to check the cylinder on that side, the diameter over there, as well as being flipped to the other side, checking the diameter on that side as well. Next, it's going to be flipped over to check out the holes on that side as shown over here, and this hole as well. For more videos on SolidCAM Professor, please go to our website, www.solidcam.com, and look for the tab called SolidCAM Professor. Thank you for joining us on SolidCAM Professor. Take care and have a nice day.